Let me convince you not to buy in Pasadena Landing. Yes, I said that. I live here. I was actually the 11th homeowner in the community. And I love living here. But that does not mean you should buy here. Because a great house in a great community can still be a terrible decision for your life. So today, I'm going to do the opposite of what you probably expect from a realtor. I'm going to try to disqualify Pasadena Landing. We're putting it through 5 tests. Your worst day, your daily ritual, the price nobody puts on the sign. What happens after the builder has your money? And finally, the one thing your home inspector can never inspect. If Pasadena Landing survives all 5 for your life, then maybe we have something worth talking about. Let's see if I can talk you out of it. Here is the first test. The problem with basically touring a house. You're meeting the house on its best behavior. It's clean, it's quiet, it smells amazing, the temperature is perfect, no groceries on the counter, no shoes by the door, no laundry, no dog trying to get outside, and no Amazon boxes at the door or in the foyer. No giant Costco haul waiting to be put away. Of course it looks good, but you're not buying that house. You're buying the Wednesday night version. So here is test number 1. Give the house your worst Wednesday. Walk through it like you already live there. You're exhausted. You just got home from work. Groceries in both hands. Where do they go? Where are the shoes? Where are the backpacks? The vacuum cleaner? The dog food? The trash cans? The Costco stuff? The trunk is full and I'm tired. Where are you actually doing laundry? Where does real life go when real life isn't staged? Because here is the question. Does this floor plan still work when your life gets messy? And while you're testing it, measure the furniture. So you don't make the same mistake I made. But don't only ask, does my couch or my furniture fit in this room? Ask, can my furniture get to this room? Because a couch, as you saw from my own experience, can fit perfectly inside the room and still be physically incapable of making the turn required to get there. Doorways, hallways, staircases, corners, measure them, measure everything. Don't just measure the destination, measure the journey. If the house fails your Wednesday, that's strike 1. But if it passes, good. Now, I want you to leave because test number 2 has nothing to do with the house. Here's a number I don't particularly trust when deciding where somebody should live. Miles. It's only 14 miles from work. Okay, it doesn't sound that bad, right? But what does 14 miles actually mean Tuesday morning at 7:30 a.m.? That's the number I care about. So here is test number 2. Pull out your phone, put in your office address, your kid's school address, your grocery store address, your doctor's address, the airport address, downtown Tampa address. Whatever places are part of your actual life, put them there. And then don't just look at the map. Drive it. Yes, drive it. Drive it at a time you'll actually need to drive it. I call this the Tuesday test because you're not buying a Sunday afternoon in Wesley Chapel. You're buying hundreds of ordinary Tuesdays. And this is the biggest thing I want people moving to Florida to understand. Florida living isn't measured in distance. It's measured in daily friction. Because eventually, the beautiful kitchen becomes your normal kitchen. The primary suite becomes, yes, your normal bedroom. But that drive you hate, you're going to make it again and again and again. So, if Pasadena Landings fails your Tuesday test, that's strike number 2. And I don't care how beautiful the house is. But let's say the location works. Now, we get to a number that can completely change the deal. And it is not the purchase price. Can you guess? Every new construction home has a price. But I think it also has a second price. And that's the number nobody puts on the for sale sign. The second price is what it costs to make the house function the way you assumed it already would. Blinds, ceiling fans, appliances, water treatment, yes, because we live in Florida, where we have hard water, fencing, lanine screening, storage, light fixtures, landscaping. Maybe some are included. Maybe they're not. Maybe you don't care about half of them. Good, that's okay. But know this, because one of the most expensive phases in new construction is, I thought that was included. $500 here, $2,000 there, $5,000 somewhere else. Suddenly, the house you thought was comfortable within your budget has a very different number attached to it. So there are actually 2 affordability questions. The first one, can I afford this house? And the second one, can I afford the version of this house I actually want to live in? These are not the same question. So don't just ask, how much is this house? Ask, what's my second price? And if that second price makes you uncomfortable, strike 3. But now, let's say the house works. The location works. The real number works. There is still something I want to know before signing on that dotted line and closing. What happens after they have your money? If you're buying new construction, here is a question I would not stop at. Does the house have a warranty? Of course, I want to know what's covered, but that's not enough. I want you to ask, show me exactly what happens when I use that warranty. That's a much more interesting question. Who do I contact? How do I submit an issue? What documentation do they need from me? What's considered cosmetic? What's covered? What's not covered? What are the timelines? And what happens if the first repair doesn't solve the problem or it falls on a weekend? Because here's something every new construction buyer needs to understand. New doesn't mean perfect. Things happen. Something may need adjustment. Something may be installed incorrectly. Something can simply be missed. That's not necessarily the problem. The real test is what happens next after I see the issue and after I report it. Because these two things sound similar, but they're definitely not. Having a warranty and having a warranty process that works, total different worlds apart. The sales process tells you what's like to buy from someone. The warranty process tells you what it's like to own what they build. And if you don't understand that process before closing, you're learning it at the exactly wrong time when you're hit with the issue. But even if Pasadena Landing passes that test, there is one final test. And this one is different. Because there is one thing your inspector cannot inspect. Your inspector can inspect the roof, the plumbing, the electrical, the HVAC. You can test the commute. You can calculate the second price. You can read the warranty. But your inspector cannot inspect 2029 or 2030. And that's important in Pasadena Landing because this is still a developing community. When I bought here, I was homeowner number 11. Yes, 11. I wasn't buying into a neighborhood that had looked the same for 20 years. I was buying into what this neighborhood could become in the future. And if you're buying here while the community is still developing, you're making some version of that decision too. What happens as most homes are built? What will traffic be like? What will the completed neighborhood feel like? How will the surrounding area develop? What will you love about these changes or hate? And what might you wish had stayed exactly the way it is today? Now, search, research, and research everything you can. Look at the plans, ask questions, find out what's approved, find out what's postponed, understand what's known, understand the unknown. But don't confuse what's known with what's guaranteed. Because you can inspect a house. You can completely inspect the future, in your dreams. And that's the reality. You're buying that part of the house and part of the future. For one buyer, that's opportunity. For another, that's uncertainty. Neither one is wrong. But if uncertainty makes you uncomfortable, Pasadena Landing may already be telling you something, and you need to listen to it. So, did I convince you not to buy here? Now, let's put it together. Pasadena Landing should probably not be on your list if you need an established neighborhood today. If ongoing construction is going to drive you crazy. If mature landscaping is extremely important to you right now. And if the location fails your Tuesday test. If your second price stretches the budget further than what you're comfortable with. Or if you buy into a community that's still evolving and it makes you uneasy. And here is the part I want you to remember. None of these things make Pasadena Landing a bad community. A community doesn't have to be bad to be wrong for you. That's why I don't particularly like the question, what's the best community in Wesley Chapel? Best for whom? The family commuting into Tampa 5 days a week? The remote worker? The retiree? The family with kids and pets? The person who wants new construction? Or the person who cannot stand construction? Same community, completely different decision. So stop looking for the best and start looking for the best fit for you. And now you're probably wondering, after everything I just said, would I still buy here? Absolutely, yes, I would. I live here. I genuinely love living here. But listen carefully to the why. Not because Pasadena Landing is perfect. It isn't. Not because everybody should live here. They shouldn't. I'd choose it again because it fits my life. It fits where I want to be now. The house works for me. The location works for me. And the trade-offs I accepted are trade-offs I'm comfortable living with. That's the standard. Not, is this a great house in the perfect community? Not, oh my God, this is the hottest area I should buy in now. The real question is this a great decision for my life? Because I can show you a gorgeous house. I can show you beautiful finishes. I can show you incentives, floor plans, amenities. Yes, I can negotiate them for you. None of this can tell me whether you'll still be happy with the decision 3 years or 5 years from now. So here's my Pasadena Landing decision score. Home potential, 9 out of 10. New construction opportunity, 9 out of 10. Established neighborhood feel today, 5 out of 10. Why 5? Because it isn't established yet. I'm surrounded by new construction everywhere I look. And I'm not going to give something a 9 because 9 sounds better on YouTube. Lifestyle fit, I'm not scoring it yet because I can't score a life I haven't lived in. Commute, family, budget, routine, priorities. Those are what determine that number. And frankly, that's the most important score on the board. So, did I convince you not to buy in Pasadena Landing? Maybe. And if I did, good. Because I rather help you eliminate the wrong house than convince you to buy one in the wrong neighborhood. But if Pasadena Landing survived all 5 tests for you, now we have something worth talking about. So the next time you walk into a model home or open house, enjoy it. Love the kitchen, open the cabinets, imagine your future, go crazy. But after you do all that, remember this. A model home is designed specifically to make you fall in love. My job is to make sure you don't regret it. Don't just ask this, do I love this house? Ask, does it survive my Wednesday test? Does the location survive my Tuesday? What's the second price? What happens after the sale? And what am I really buying today? Does that really exist? Because beautiful houses are not hard to find. Good decisions are. I'm Monica Ștefănescu with Florida Sunny Shore, the Tampa Bay Decision Realtor. And remember, Florida living isn't measured in distance. It's measured in daily friction. I'll see you next week.